Mrs. Featherington, you seem discomposed.
No. I'm quite well, my lord.
Pen so illustrates that feeling that we sometimes have, that this is so overwhelming. My heart is palpitating. I feel like I am just sweating so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline Maguire, and I'm here to talk about all things friendship and ADHD. And I am reacting to a Bridgerton episode today. This is season 3, episode 2. And if you are a fan of the show, this is the episode where Penelope gets lessons from Lord Bridgerton on how to have easier time with conversations. And it's a great example of how many of us who have ADHD or are neurodivergent feel about ourselves. Like, it just doesn't come naturally to us. We need lessons. We feel like there's just some things we don't know how to do. And so I love Pen as a character. I think she's like super relatable because instead of feeling as confident as she should, she doesn't feel the way we would like her to feel. I am going to watch a scene where she's having a bunch of social struggles, and I am going to react to it and give you tips because I feel like this is so relatable to the way we often feel.
Indeed, sooner or later she will be caught, and we shall dance on the day of her demise. Now, no more talk of books. If you are to secure a match, you must engage in real life. I should like to see your skills as they are first.
But I have none.
Okay, I love that he says, no more talk of books. I want you to live in the real world. And as much as I love books, and I think it's great she's such a reader, it really is a very, very sort of blunt way of saying, you know, you can't just live in books. You have to try things in the real world. And you know, I always talk about practice, that let things be an experiment. Let yourself try things. Lower the stakes. No one interaction is the end of the world. I know that it's easier said than done, but I think he's really saying that to Pen. He's saying, don't tell me about what you've read about meeting people and relating to people. How are you going to live? And then he says, actually, your skills aren't so bad. And he really is probably not using as affirmative language as he could, but he's trying to say to her, your perception of yourself is much worse than it is. Okay, let's watch.
Men are quite simple beings.
Well, I suppose I can show you.
Not me. Them. Gentlemen, I believe you know Miss Featherington.
How delightful to see you all. Such splendid weather we are having.
Mrs. Featherington, you seem discomposed.
No. I'm quite well, my lord.
Okay. Pen is supposed to demonstrate her use of a fan, and fans were something that people used to flirt, but she mucks it up. She is literally like hitting herself in the face, and she is just sweating and she feels so awkward. This really kind of, to me, goes back to Lord Bridgerton wants her to practice with real people, and he wants her to, you know, show this skill, the use of the fan, but she has no guide. He has good intentions, but I think she would have done better to role play it, rehearse it, figure out her way of doing it. And that's what I'm always talking about, right? We have to figure out how we want to do things, not just, okay, I'm pushing you into this, I'm making you do this. A plan really helps. And what I also love is that Pen is just so awkward that they're asking her, are you okay? Pen so illustrates that feeling that we sometimes have, that this is so overwhelming. My heart is palpitating. I feel like I am just sweating so much. She doesn't have the confidence. She doesn't feel as good about herself as we'd like her to, because she's awesome. And she feels so overwhelmed. I am sure her anxiety level is up to here. I would love to be there because I would give pen ways to cope with her anxiety. You know, for instance, this might not be the right skill for her. She might not be someone who needs to use a fan. I would have her rehearse and role play with people who aren't strangers who she's trying to demonstrate this to, because the stakes are way too high. When we're in practice mode, we want the stakes to be lower, and we want to have rehearsed, and we want to have felt like we have knowledge of where this is going. She doesn't really know where this is going. She's very much on the spot. And she is just really struggling.
Do you remember when we first met? I was riding my horse, minding my own business, when I was assaulted by a devilishly yellow head covering.
It was not my fault the wind blew it clean off my head.
Oh, wind or not, you certainly seemed pleased when I landed in the mud.
I apologize.
Yes, and you were so very charming about it, teasing me, mercilessly in fact. We were children. Before the self-consciousness of adulthood set in, before we started caring what others think.
Colin, it is impossible to be in society and not care what others think. Society is entirely composed of the judgment of others.
And living for the estimation of others is a trap. Once you break free, the world opens up.
You make it sound so easy.
Lord Bridgerton says to her that she is trapped living in the estimation of others. And what I think he's really trying to say to her is, you are so concerned with what other people think. The gap for me, though, with deference to the fact that he is trying to help her, is that it is so much easier said than done to become comfortable in your own skin. It is easier said than done to say other people's opinion doesn't matter. I would love for every single one of us to feel that way, but it is easier said than done. He doesn't really offer Penelope tools. He's just not equipped. And so if I were there, I would want to give her some tools so that she was more comfortable in her own skin. I have this technique that you can see videos about called pregame. I would have given her that ramp up. How does she feel more comfortable in her dress? What's the environment? What is that she needs to feel less anxious? Maybe she needs a little bit of a script going into this. He is saying to her, let go of what other people feel. Penelope has tremendous strengths, and I would have had her do something that day that reminded her of her strengths. I love this scene because I think as a friend, Lord Bridgerton is really trying to help Penelope feel better about things, but he just doesn't give her all of that tools and all of the things she needs. And so it ends up just being super awkward. I love this. Thank you to everyone who watched this video with me. Check out more videos like this. I'm going to be reacting, and I really hope that everyone starts to follow some of the tips and we can feel more comfortable in our own skin, because like the character, I think many of us don't feel as comfortable in our own skin. Bye, friends.